Well, where to begin? It's my last night in Rome. It's the last night of 208. I set course for home tomorrow at midday. Don't get me wrong, I'm happy to go home, but I don't want to stop doing this. It's so much fun. But today, I have to talk about today first. I set off for San Clemente, and I almost missed it again. It's not where the map I had says it is. It's actually right behind the Colosseum. It was really cool going in there. So you walk in, right, and it's just like a normal church. The top layer, that's right, because there's 3 of them. The top layer, very pretty church. And what's happened is, there's a bottom layer, which is a pagan temple. Then on top of that, there's another, I think it's Catholic, or it's Franciscan monks, or it's Dublin Irishmen, or something going on there. On a second level, and the third level is what we see today, is the top church, is what, with the beautiful ornate ceiling. And you go to this little unassuming ticket counter, and it's like, tickets €5, €5, right? And you go through these 2 exceedingly unassuming doors with frosted glass, and you're in this little vestibule, and there's a little laneway, and then either side of the laneway there's like glass, and you can see through the glass down into, well, what is essentially the second layer, the middle layer, church. And it's really cool, and you go down, and in the banisters there's lights that shine onto the stairwell. And then you get down the bottom and you turn, and it's like Indiana Jones. It is so cool. They've got these. I was more impressed by the lighting than I was the second level. And I didn't spend too much time on the second layer first up because there was a tour group there, and I hate tour groups. There's 3 things I've come to hate on this trip: Frenchmen, American tourists, and fucking tour groups. All have their reasons. French, because, well, they're French. American tourists, because they're so goddamn loud. And tour groups, because there's just so bloody many of them. Anyway, I bolted straight for the lower level, the pagan temple, and I got down there, and instantly I felt like I was home. I felt like I'd been here before. I knew the place, and it was all cool and groovy, and it was like it was like those little forts you built as a kid in the forest, right? This had so many different chambers. It was really great. And there was one that was like just to sit and hang out, be groovy kind of place. And you couldn't go in there. It was behind these little pillars that have alarms in them, as I found out. When I was trying to get past a tour group on the second level, my umbrella was sticking out, and it crossed one of the alarms and it buzzed. And then the tour guide said something in German which I didn't understand, and the rest of the group laughed. So then I went, and it was a chamber, right? And in the middle of the chamber there was just this altar, and there was chairs around it, and above the altar there was this perfect circular shaft that just went straight up, and in through it flooded sunlight. That was beautiful. You know, and this was about two levels on the ground. And I was walking around, and I was just exploring, and I was having a blast exploring. And I was just ducking through all the little doorways, and it was really, really brilliant. It was just fun. So I was heading for the Pantheon, but I decided to go via the Trevi Fountain because that's where my wanderings took me. And I was able to get down up and close to the Trevi Fountain. And I liked Rome so much, I threw a coin with my right hand over my left shoulder to ensure a safe return to Rome. And it's a very beautiful fountain. It's absolutely huge. When I was so far back yesterday, I didn't realise just how big the fuck it was. And it's so beautifully carved, and what better way to mark the end of an aqueduct than with a big fuck off fountain? So that was cool. And then I made my way down to Temple of Hadrian. But of course, it was undergoing reconstructive efforts, and that's starting to piss me off a bit. So, continued on, ambling down as I do, to the Pantheon. It's this kind of domed building right at the back. And at the front, it's your standard columns and flat top thing going on with a strip on the marquee saying Pantheon, but in Latin, so it was Pantheonus. Oh, I wandered in and you look up, because the first thing you notice is this absolutely giant dome, and you're just looking up and you're just going, that is one fucking big dome. And it is, it's huge. And all around the wall they've got statues of various religious icons and the such. And I was really impressed. It was very beautiful, and I liked it a lot. From there, I made my way to Piazza Nuova, I think. I wasn't really paying attention, and I sat down and had lunch. Yeah, and then I kind of just I meandered back here, and that was my day. It was the last day. I'm Sam, and I'm the Wanderer, saying Arrivederci Roma.